Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope you guys are just as excited for Final Fantasy Tactics 2 as I am right now. It's going to be here in a little bit over 8 hours, and I know most of you guys are super hyped and ready to pull for either Agrias or Delita. We are going to be streaming our polls tonight, and during maintenance I am going to be playing some other games, so make sure you come check us out, come say hi, and make sure you come join our stream dig.gs/twitch when we are getting ready to poll. Now, there's been a little bit of a conversation through the Discords that I've been in and through the comments in my YouTube videos. Who is better, Agrias or Delita? And I know I may have been a little bit biased when I was like, Delita's amazing and I can't wait to get him. The reason I say that is because my composition is really Delita favored. And I actually think either of these units are really powerful to pull for if they suit your team. So the question that I want to answer in this video is, should you pull for Agrias or should you pull for Delita? And what do you have on your team? What's missing on your team? And what are the roles that they're going to fill? Specifically, when we talk about Agrias, I think there's actually been a misconception about Agrias. And I think the misconception about Agrias is that she's going to be this really powerful tank that's on tier with Warrior of Light and Rain. That's actually not true. She doesn't have innate enmity generation. She doesn't have, that high defense that Warrior of Light has. She's going to have high spirit, and she's going to specialize in buffing spirit of the allies around her, giving magic shield. She's going to specialize in taking a little bit of damage, but what she's really going to specialize in most is dealing status ailment effects on the opponent. And that's what's going to be her main role. I think there's a lot of people who are like, her main role is going to be tank, and I'm going to put her in my party, and she's going to be the tank that's just going to carry me. That's not how it's going to work. She is not going to be able to hold enmity with just taunting spell as her primary ability, if that's what you're thinking. The way I see Agrias functioning is I see her functioning as being that unit that's a pain in the ass. What do I mean by that? Because obviously, not all of us have a unit on our team where we're like, yeah, you're going to be my pain in the ass unit and we're going to send you forward first. But I honestly think that's going to be Agrias's role. And there are a couple other units that I actually think fit this role. And that's going to be units like Frederica. That's going to be units like Ketone. And that's going to be units that are very similar to Warrior of Light in a way, where you can land stop, you can land disable, and by landing stop, by landing disable, by landing silence, by landing any one of these effects, you immediately turn the tide of the battle. And in most situations, landing these effects is an instant win. I can't tell you how frustrated I got when we were running Arena against Gunner meta, when Frederica would use disable shot from across the map and literally disable my units before they even had a chance to move, or at least disable one of them. In almost all situations where that happened, it immediately became an instant loss for me. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of that with Mustadio. We're definitely going to see a lot more of that with Agrias. So when you're thinking about Agrias, what you really want to think is, how can you optimize Agrias to change the tide of battle in your favor? I don't think we need to be thinking of her as a tank the way we standardly think of her. And I think if you're looking to pull for Agrias, what you're going to be wanting on your team are units that support that archetype, that sort of long game, that game where, throwing Agrias in there, having Agrias be a pain in the ass, and having her continue to be a pain in the ass is what's going to make you win the battle. So I'm looking at units like Ayaka. I think Ayaka is going to be so powerful paired with Agrias. And I think we're going to see a lot more of Ayaka. We already see a shit ton of Ayaka. But I think she's going to be even more relevant when we're talking about running compositions that are designed to exhaust our opponent's resources and disable them with status effects and then mop them up. So what type of unit besides Ayaka would I be looking to run with Agrias? I would probably want to run a unit that's going to do a substantial amount of damage, right? Agrias is going to run forward, and Agrias is going to be the distraction. Agrias is going to be the pain in the ass. She's going to be landing disable. She's going to be landing stop. She's going to be landing silence. So what you need is you need a unit that can support that. So I would look at a unit like Sid, for example. A unit that is going to be able to survive as well as deal damage, potentially heal if they need to. Sid just got a huge buff where you can use his TMR to support him. You could even look at units like Victoria, for example. You could look at units like, gosh, there's so many brawling units out there. Delita even, if you got Delita. If you got like Gafgarion. Any unit that's a brawler type unit, Kilfei, for example, can pair well with Agrias. And I think it's wrong to think of Agrias as a tank. And I think thinking of her as that pain in the ass unit is really the way to go, because I think Warrior of Light and Rain, they focus on that hate. They focus on generating that enmity. Agrias doesn't. She maybe will use Taunting Blade once in the battle. You're not going to turn off all of her abilities except Taunting Blade because you want her to use her status ailment abilities. So it's just one of those things where I feel like her identity has been misconstrued as like this god tier tank, when really she's kind of like this semi-tank brawler that's going to focus primarily on status effects. Now that we've kind of gotten through Agrias and we've kind of talked about what you're going to want to build in order to pull her, let's talk about Delita, because I actually believe Agrias is significantly easier to pull for than Delita. I think if you have Agrias, Agrias will fit into many different compositions that already exist in the meta, and she's going to replace that unit like Warrior of Light or Rain. She's going to be like that pain in the ass, right? Then we have Delita, and Delita is not going to be that unit. Delita is a very specific type of brawler unit, and he has some different uses that Arena might not actually be his best use. I actually feel like with Delita, if you are going to be using him in any type of arena capacity or other type of capacity, you're going to need to have him max faith. You're going to need to have him built towards stop blade, and that's going to be the ability you're going to want him to use. You could go sub soldier for hazard break spam, but you don't want to sub soldier because you want to sub apprentice warrior, right? Because the sub apprentice warrior is what gives him access to meditate, which gives him that attack plus 60, magic plus 60. So subbing apprentice warrior, he's going to be that unit that can focus on stop blade. He's also going to have access to Firaga blade. Now, you don't have to build him towards magic. I think he's going to fit really powerfully into a magic team. And I know for me personally, I'm going to put Delita immediately in my fire team with Rain and with my Kilfei. We're going to go for magic up. We're going to go for, slash up. We're going to try and figure some things out, see if we can't get another good unit in there, and really start doing some damage with those Spellblade attacks. Now, most people don't have the capacity or even the knowledge necessarily to work around Delita's skill set to sort of maximize his ability in arena or live PvP. And I think that's why a lot of people sort of give Delita the bump, right? He's one of those units that people kind of rub off. They're just kind of like, he's kind of hard to use. He's kind of difficult to fit in. We're just going to throw him over here. And I mean, rightfully so. I think most people aren't going to be able to utilize him in different combinations of teams effectively. Or they're going to make some pretty basic mistakes, like thinking that magic attack is going to modify Firaga Blade, which it's not, because Firaga Blade is going to be a slashing and magic based attack. It's not a magic attack based attack. So there's going to be lots of simple mistakes like that that are going to be made that are really going to make Delita a hard character for people to utilize. Very similar actually to Ramza, I believe. I believe like Ramza had very difficult ways to be built, and a lot of people didn't understand how to build Ramza. And I think the same problem is going to happen with Delita. Now, one thing I think for Delita that's kind of like a lurking treasure is his access to Caustic Blade with Apprentice Warrior. And this is actually what I'm most excited about, is because I have Rain, I have Delita, and I'm excited to be able to run Raid, like when Ifrit Raid comes out, and be able to run Delita where he can actually use Caustic Blade with Rain's Limit Break and pair that fire elemental resistance down so that we can do more damage to the raid boss in a faster amount of time. And I think we'll actually start seeing compositions of 3 Rains and a Delita for raids, and we'll see this combination of Rain's Limit Break, Delita using his Caustic Blade, and then another Rain using Soulbind whatever the soul attack is that lowers the enemy's agility, defense, and spirit. And then the combination of all of those breaks, the next thing you know, they're just going to start wailing on him for so much damage. And I just know this is going to be a composition that's going to work in raid, and it's going to work consistently over a long period of time. And a lot of us have talked about the Rain raid builds for the future, and I think this is going to be sort of the birth of that. And I think Delita is going to be the birth of that, because he's going to have access to stacking Caustic Blade with Rain's Limit Break, which is going to make him a very powerful unit in that regard. So I don't think Delita is for everyone. I think Agrias is, of course, going to fit into different compositions easier, but I think Delita, you really have to have intention when you're pulling for him. You have to know where you're going to be putting him in your team, how you're going to be running him, if you are going to be running him in arena, how you're going to make him effective, what Esper you're going to put on him, because of course he can be built for physical attack, he can be built for plus magic. There's so many different builds for him that you really have to have a plan in place. You have to have a solid team, and maybe that's just another video I need to do on Delita and show you guys what my plan for my Delita is and how I'm going to build him. Because in my mind, I have this vision of Delita and Rain, right? So of course we're going to want to put like Moraga in there. We're going to want to put like Odin in there. And then potentially on a third unit, maybe Ayaka or something crazy, we're going to put like Lamia Queen or, you know, Ifrit. I don't know. There's so many different combinations. Ifrit, by the way, such an amazing card for Delita. I almost have my Ifrit max and I'm super stoked to use Ifrit on my Delita. So yeah, there's so many combinations, and I hope you guys through this video, I know there was a lot of rambling, but I hope I was able to kind of give you sort of a vision on which unit you should pull for. I think Agrias is the safe bet for everybody, but if you have intention, if you have a team, if you have a plan, Delita could actually work better for you than Agrias could. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And of course, we are going to be live tonight on Twitch in just a couple hours at 9 p.m. Pacific time. I will be live all throughout the maintenance playing other games. And then when the maintenance is done, we'll kind of get back in, do our polls, and get ready for the big Final Fantasy Tactics 2 night. So I hope to see a lot of you guys there. Do remember, if you are buying Visior, please use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins or dig.gs/offer. It's one of the best things you can do to support me without actually directly giving me money. Thank you so much, you guys, and have a great rest of your night.